screen, my favorite man. Crafty's on the TV, chipping that stone with Obsidian and Flint. He's in the zone. He's shaping the future with a hit and a crack. Building the legends, ain't no turning back. With every sharp edge, he's teaching the way of the ancients to thrive. Back in the day, Crafty on the TV, talking that smack. Stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. Underneath those layers of dust and grit, finds the magic every little bit. A sculptor of stories, buried in the ground. Each piece he uncovers wisdom abound. With every collision, the sparks start to fly. As the old world awakens, we question why. He's digging deeper where the shadows play, reviving old crafts that could fade away. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack. Stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. And in this life, we're all just searching for our place in the world, a way to keep working. With the flick of his wrist, he brings forth the light. In every gray morning, he makes it feel right. So gather around, let the stories unfold. Crafty's our guide through the young and the old. With the sun rising high and the day moving on, Crafty carves dreams till the light is all gone. Shaping the future one chip at a time. With every creation, he's keeping the rhyme. From the heartland of Texas to the mountains of green, the legacy lives on through the stonework unseen. With every perspective, he's showing the way. Crafty keeps going, come whatever may. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack. Stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. So here's to the mornings with coffee in hand and Crafty on the screen, the true heart of the land. With a hit and a crack, he's paving the way through stone and through story. He inspires the day.
Hello, hello. I'm just getting ready. I'm just getting my stuff ready here. I see we already got a bunch of people, so cool. I forgot to do this earlier. I just remembered. And to replace the bit, but I don't know if I'll do that on video. Let's see, what do we got? Already picked out the stuff I'm going to nap today, but I also have an unboxing. So let's do that. Let's do the unboxing. Okay. Now this one is from Stacy Ward, or Rockin' Pop's Adventures. So let's see. Let me get out my stone blade. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Hopefully I don't cut anything good. Rockin' Pop's Adventures sent me something. What is it? It's a Merry Christmas. What? It looks like beef jerky. Let me put the date on it. Well, I'm just gonna eat it tomorrow. How's that? What is this? If you want to send me food, that's pretty good. This looks like stuff from. This almost looks like stuff we get out here near Vermont or in New York. Yeah, it looks like Onondaga, but it's worse. Yeah, I'll try hitting on that. See how it responds. Yeah, this looks like the stuff we get out here, which is okay. Perfectly good. All right. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Tracy. I'm going to open the Christmas card. Yeah. You can't see. It's only for me. Unless there's nothing that'll... Unless it's safe and there's no problem with doxing anyone without their knowing. It's here's the card, okay? Rejoice, Christ is born. Christmas, blah, 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 blah. Patrick, here is some Christmas deer jerky and Big Fork Challenge Rock. Have a blessed Christmas and New Year. Stacy and Melissa Ward. Rockin' Pops. Awesome. Yeah. Stacy. Did I call you Tracy? Dang. So this is, what is it called? Big Fork Rock. So I guess it's from Arkansas. Some of it looks okay. Let me see. Let's see. It looks okay. It looks like it might be a little difficult with some of the cracks. I can make an arrowhead out of that. Let's start with this first. Someone gave me a super chat earlier. Let me say thank you for that one. Let's see it. I had the music playing. Where is my other phone? Yeah, let's see where I am on my channel. Where am I live on my channel? Excuse me, everybody. I need to look to see what the chat's doing. I can't see it very well from the phone that I'm using to film this. I mean, I can, but I can't swipe and make it work without messing it up. Okay, where am I? It's not there. Am I here? Where am I? There I am. This is it? Yes, this is it. Here. Turn down the volume. Now I can see the chat. Okay. $20 from somebody. Jesse, Merry Christmas. Get some rock. Awesome. Thanks, Jesse. $20. There you go. J Money. All right. So who do we have in the house? Jim Main, Alan Cole, Mike Mason. Yeah. Jim won the door prize. Tommy Taylor is here. Danny Collins. He sure likes that song. Yeah, I like it too. Jesse, already mentioned you. I got the box today, Patrick. Great packaging as usual. Awesome. I'm glad everything gets there. I just get really, worried that the mail is not going to deliver the packages properly. So I do a little bit of overkill on the packaging. Yeah. Let's see. Keith is here. Hello, Patrick and all the nappers. Yes, yes. There's some new guys that I don't know. Jim Cooper's here. Let's see. I'm down to 75 viewers because I'm checking the chat. As soon as I don't check the chat, I get more viewers. Let's see. 9 fingers. What are you talking about? Who is rock fan? It went from 2 to 172 real quick. Yeah. It just jumps around quite a bit. Because people are doom scrolling. What are you doing? This is going to be a arrowhead making video. a live stream where I make arrowheads out of rocks. What material is your whacker tool made from? The whacker tool is a solid copper head attached to plastic handle. Somehow, it's a secret. I don't know how it's attached. It's probably attached with a bolt inside there, you know, welded to the copper or something, and then screwed into the plastic. And it looks like it's been turned on a lathe to be nice and even. Nice and even, Steven. If you want to know, I have a video, a shorts video on my tools. Okay, I got a shorts video on my tools. If you want to see my tools, just go to my shorts video on my tools. Where to buy? You can buy them at flintnappingsupplies.com. You get them at flintnapping with an S.com. That's where I bought that. Yeah, you might be able to get them used, but I don't know who's going to sell them to you used. They're pretty good. So they last forever, almost. Unless you're like me, I bang rocks like this. So this is, I already forgot what it's called. Yeah. I'm not a good napper because I can't remember what these rocks are called. But it has a lot of cracks in it. This is challenge rock, yes. Usually with challenge rock, you cannot get a full benefit of the size of the piece. It cracks, right? And it has little defects and stuff. It'll crack in half sometimes because of the defects. So trying to get full length out of these is a losing battle. See, it's got some issues. That's a natural crack in there. So we don't know how deep that goes. So I just got to keep hitting until I get rid of the bad stuff. That's the goal. Once I get rid of the bad stuff, then we can start cooking with gas. Yeah. So for those of you who are new, I got this made up. I'm a flint napper. I make stone and obsidian arrowheads, spearheads, blades at little dart points. I sell my points in my auctions on this channel. Okay. If you're new, take a screenshot and share with your friends. That's what I am. That's what I do. And whoever comes in later that misses that little sign, everyone can tell them because I'm not going to tell them. There'll be questions. What are you doing? What are you doing in the video? I don't understand it. Someone else can tell them. Someone else will tell you. Okay. I don't have time to be answering the same question over and over and over and over again. Yeah, don't ask me if this is obsidian. You should, by the time you're like 5 years old, you should know the difference between rocks and obsidian. Yeah. Or by the time you get to kindergarten, right? When you start learning how to read, you should be able to know the difference between rocks and obsidian. So this broke in half because it's all messed up. See, it's not supposed to break in this way. It's supposed to break with what they call conchoidal fractures or conchoidal, whatever it's called. But if it's got defects, it won't break in a conchoidal manner. But sometimes, if you find a solid piece, you can make something. Yeah, it's got issues. And you're going to need tissues for this stuff. Where's the other piece? I think it's going to be the same. Yeah, it's going to break. It's going to break up. So I've got better stuff than this. But this is part of the challenge. Yeah, this is all. It looks like it's beaten up by the weather. The freeze thaw cycles and stuff. It cracks it. The freeze thaw cycles will crack this stuff. So I probably only can get little teeny arrowheads out of it from some of these flakes. See how it breaks in weird ways? So it's not a good demonstration rock. It's good for demonstrating what not to knap. Yeah, see, it's got natural cracks. So let's put this one away. Challenge accepted, but not successful. Let's put that away. There might be some pieces that I can make an arrowhead out of. Like these don't look too bad. Right? This one I could probably do something. But all the rest are going to be a bunch of crud flakes. Now this is obsidian. It looks similar to this. That's rock, that's obsidian. But you can tell the shininess. And there's a just different look to it. Although color is almost exactly the same. It's got these lines in it, but these lines happen to be a different mineral than this stuff. Okay. So what am I going to do now? I got to clean up so that I can start doing. I got to clean up so I can start doing something else. Okay? All right. Everyone came back? I'm going to save the obsidian for last. Oh, come on. I got to clean up. I can't go to the next stage because I have ADHD. I need to clean this stuff up or I get all distracted. Yeah, that's better. I get all anxiety. I get a bunch of anxiety if I don't clean up. Now that I've got into the habit. This is what they call blonde Knife River flint. I'm going to try this on video. Yeah, blonde. And Knife River flint is KRF for short. Blonde KRF. And let's see how this is, because this is the only big piece I have. And this is not an actual big piece in relation to other pieces of stone. But for Knife River, this is the biggest piece of blonde Knife River that I have. So let's see how this works. If it does, great. If it doesn't, awesome. It's another challenge rock. To see if I can actually get something out of it. Okay. I cleaned up my shop today, this shop, so I got a better arrangement for the signs back there. Yeah. That made me happy. I got rid of some clutter this week, both in the house and in my shop. I'm not going to explain what I'm doing because it's very obvious. I'm just hitting the thing to make sure, or to find areas that are good and get rid of the bad areas. But obviously you can see that. Can you see that I'm trying to get rid of the nasty areas and keep the good areas? Or no? Everyone's totally lost the brand new ones? Yeah, probably. Let's see. Somebody says use jade. Jade does not knap well. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at the chat. What book are you referencing? This one is the Overstreet Guide. Someone else tell him. It's the Overstreet Guide. You can just type in Overstreet Arrowhead Guide into Google. Someone will give you the name. Let's see here. Full of fossil material. Sometimes. These other ones, I don't know. Nothing that I napped just now on this live stream had fossils in it. Now, this might, but some of the Knife River Flint does not have fossils in it. Some of this KRF or Knife River Flint does not have fossils. And I didn't see any so far. Use jade or cinnabar. I don't think those will nap well. Hey, Marty's here, Buckskin NYB. That's who I got this stuff from. Buckskin NYB is who I got this from. Okay, in case you're wondering, I get that question all the time.
Where do you get it? Where do you find these rocks? I mean, I got rocks, but they're not like that.
Yeah, you're not going to find these kind of rocks where you're at. Let's see. Justin Connor says, probably shouldn't even comment, so you didn't get interaction, but I'm a loser that knows about rocks. What's the difference between obsidian and rocks? Oh yeah, Justin, are you less than 14 years old? If you are, I'll cut you some slack. Let's see. He's doing what's called nippy. It's the way of the natives, major weapons. It's not nippy, but it's probably autocorrect says nippy. I'd never seen that before. Salamander says, oh boy, he done ruined it. Yeah, I ruined the stuff that couldn't be napped. I ruin stuff that can't be napped all the time. Why do I ruin it? Because it can't be napped. What safety glasses do I use? I use reader glasses, actually. These are Walmart specials. This is 1.25 magnification. I need some magnification, but you can get those that are clear. You don't have any magnification. Can I have an emerald daddy dagger? No. Surface rock? Yeah, a lot of this stuff that I'm napping as a challenge is surface rock. Yeah, Ed, just keep posting stuff, Ed, and YouTube. If it doesn't like what you post, just keep posting it. Sometimes it doesn't work right. Where to buy? Where to buy what? Someone tell these guys that that stuff is for sale all over the place. If you don't know where to buy rock, where you been? Check Facebook. Just go to Google. Say,
Where do I buy rock, Google?
and if you can't type it in, you hit the microphone thing on Google and you can ask Google with your voice.
Google, I want to buy rock that you can flint nap. Where is it? I asked the guy on the live stream, but he's a stupid guy.
Just, that's how you get your information. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Some of you guys are responding to the comments and talking to each other. Good. That way I don't have to answer every single question. And a lot of these questions get asked over and over and over and over again. Okay. This looks like it's going to be quite a challenge. Yes. I don't know if I'll be able to get anything out of this one. We shall see. What's getting anything out of it mean? I don't know if I'll be able to make an arrowhead out of it. We'll see. It breaks with a conchoidal fracture, but that's not all it needs. That's not the only thing that it needs. It needs to be solid without cracks. And yes, stone has natural cracks in it. This is a natural stone with natural cracks. And if I can't make an arrowhead out of it, sometimes it's not my fault. And if I ruin it, sometimes it is my fault, but if it's all cracked, it's the rock's fault that it gets ruined because it's not nappable. You get it? No? It's okay. Don't worry about it. You don't have to understand anything. You really don't. I've seen guys that are good nappers that they don't know anything else except how to hit the rocks. They don't know what the rocks are called. They don't know why the rocks are all cracked. They don't know how copper works. It just does work. They don't know much, but they can nap really good. You don't need to know much to nap really good. How do I know? Just look at the artifacts. How much do you think that they knew back in the day compared to what we know? They only knew the important stuff. Today, we know a bunch of useless information and a lot of false information just because it's interesting and people click on the false information because it sounds cool. Yeah. Back in the day, they didn't know any of this stuff that sounded cool. And they still made beautiful objects. So you don't need to know anything. Just watch. Yeah. And believe it or not, you can make your own tools to do this. Yeah. You don't need to depend on someone else. You can make your own tools. So far, this looks dicey. I don't know. We'll see. It's a shame because this is kind of a rare color, right? It's like an amber looking color, Knife River Flint. But, oh well. If it doesn't nap, it doesn't nap. Yeah. Let's see. Jermaine says, I think the live is more social. I learn more from the videos, but I like the lives. Yeah. The live streams, they are exposed to a larger audience. Okay, so I do have to at least address the new guys on a regular basis, but I can't be doing it every 5 seconds. Yeah, there's a new guy in the live stream every 5 seconds. But I can't be answering the questions. So you guys just look in the chat. You can find answers to questions in the chat. That's what it's for. And I'm supposed to be checking the chat too, but I'm doing something. Can you see it? I'm doing something. I'm trying to do it. Okay. And I use indirect percussion. I have a shorts video on my tools. I use these copper rods. Why do I use rods and not something else? Because this is the easiest thing for me to use. I'm lazy. I don't like making my own tools. I should actually make more complicated tools than this. I just buy the rods and I stash the rod behind my knee and use that. I used to make more complicated tools, but now I don't. Yeah. One of these days I'll start making more professional looking tools. Maybe, because once I start doing that, people say, can you make me some of those tools? I don't like the tools that I got. I want the exact tools that you got so I can do exactly like you can do it. Yeah. Well, there's no guarantee that you can do it exactly like I do it if you have the exact tools that I have. I've seen guys not be able to do what I do because it just doesn't feel right. Even with the exact same tools. So don't depend on that. And no, I'm not going to be selling tools. That's not what I want to do. I can make tools all day long. But I don't because I don't want to. That's not my business. That's not what I want to be. I don't want to be a tool maker. I want to make arrowheads. Let's see. Yep. These new guys, what is he making? I don't know. Just look in the background, right? Are you a background guy that looks at the background before you look at the video? If you notice, I got pictures of artifacts in the background. Right? And the book is Overstreet Indian Arrowheads Guide. I should just do this because I've got templates of arrowheads. These are just cutouts. I'm not going to show you that. I can't grab it quick enough. So these are templates made of cardboard that I use to guide me in making certain reproductions. Now this one is not going to be a reproduction. Okay. This is just trying to get something from this very nasty piece of rock. This is not what you're supposed to be napping, okay? This is a rock challenge. What you're supposed to be napping is good stuff. Like this. Get your hands on some nice obsidian. Same with this. This is nice obsidian. Get yourself some nice obsidian. It looks more like this when you're just starting to make it, and then you thin it down. Okay? This is good stuff. Where's my good rocks? This is a good piece of a small rock. Okay, this is good stuff. This is heat treat. It means it's been made better by heating it up and also cooling it down. This is not hot right now. I had this one guy ask me, I don't know how to nap it when it's hot because it's like 300 degrees. No, You don't nap it while it's hot. You wait till it cools down. Okay? All right. And sometimes Obsidian looks like this, but that's okay. You can still nap it. All right. But sometimes people send me stuff like this, and I don't even know if it can be napped. And I think they know, but they might be giggling back there. Let's see. Well, let's see. I'll get back to the other ones in a minute. Let's see. I don't know. I might be able to nap this. It's all kind of grainy and crunchy. I might be able to nap that into something. Yeah. It chips easily. It's not much of a conchoidal fracture, but it does chip. Maybe. See, that's a challenge rock. Don't nap this stuff. Nap the good stuff only when you're brand new. Because some guys say,
Hey, I've seen this down at the beach. I'm gonna get some and make some beautiful arrowheads. Yeah, I've seen a lot of this.
no, don't nap this, because you won't get a bunch of beautiful arrowheads. No. No. This is a challenge. We'll see if I can actually do something with this. Let me see. There's probably about 15 questions. Let's see. I'm going to try to answer some questions. I find old arrowheads all the time in my field, says Ezra. You're lucky. Is it an indirect copper rod, a mallet? High molecular, I think. Yeah. I have a shorts video on my tools. Just look. I take notes. I got a big chunk of obsidian and want to know how to break it into where you can do 3 different blades out of it. Yeah. Are you brand new? You need to get someone else to break it up for you. You're not going to be able to learn how to do it on a video. You need to watch like 600 videos. I'm not even kidding. And then practice 600 hours. Watch 600 videos and practice for 600 hours. That's like 10 weeks of 60 hours a week. If you want to go, full blast, if you're not employed or anything, you want to go full blast, work 60 hours for 10 weeks, and then you can be able to knock it into 3 pieces you can use. Aaron Wilson is here. Nice. Let's see. Daniel says, sir, you can't make tools. You different shaved rocks with a stick make an impact from scratch or force mill screw. I don't understand some of these comments, guys. Look in the chat to answer some questions, to get your questions answered, because I can't answer the same question over and over and over and over again. Yeah, no politics. We don't have a moderator right now, so if I see somebody that's talking politics, I'll probably delete you. Let me see. I have over 2,000 videos on my channel, so if you have a question, you can just ask or type it into YouTube, Jack Crafty, and then whatever you want to see. I might have a video on it. Yeah. So the purpose of the chat is for me to answer questions, but I get the question every 5 minutes. What are you napping? What are the tools? Is that rock? Is that obsidian? I can't be answering the basic stuff over and over and over and over again. Those are Google questions. If you type it into Google and you can't get an answer, then you can ask me. Yeah. Let me write that down. That's a good thing to say on every video. If you can't get answer from Google, then ask me. Okay? But only then. If you can't get answer from Google, then ask me. Yeah. That's the easiest. And you guys should know by the time you're 6 or 7 that you can open up two different windows, or and then be asking Google at the same time you're watching the live stream. Yeah. Okay. Unless you're watching on TV, then I don't know what to do. So let's get back to seeing if I can make an arrowhead out of this. The top part looks pretty solid. It might have fossils in it, but I don't know what those are. We shall see as we progress. There might be some internal cracks and issues, but I don't know. We'll see. You never know with this. It's natural. It's natural from nature. Yeah, so you never know what you're going to get. It's worse than a box of chocolates. At least with chocolates, you know it's chocolate. Doesn't matter too much. But this, I mean, you know it's rock, but you don't know if it's nappable. It might not be nappable.
You can nap a rock if you just do it right, dude. You need to do it right. Do it.
Yeah, that's. I used to get that a lot. These days, there's a lot more flint napping online, so people know that you can't always do it. And if you don't know you can't always do it, then you've been living under rocks or playing too many video games and not looking for information. Or whatever you do. I don't know what people do on the internet these days, because they come up with all kinds of weird questions. What are you using the internet for if you're not getting information?
I'm trying to get information from your live stream, dude, so shut up.
Okay, fair enough. Trying to get information from the live stream. But you were doom scrolling because of something else, right? You're probably seeing other things. I just saw a post on Instagram where there was a guy that succeeded, the first guy that succeeded snowboarding down Mount Everest. He succeeded in doing that, and then he tried it again and disappeared. Never seen again on his second try. He went down a different direction, a more difficult route, and he was never seen again. That's probably what you're trying to scroll for.
I want those adventure stories. Where's the adventures and all the exciting stuff, and it just keeps doom scrolling, and then you end up here on the weird side of YouTube. And then you ask all these questions because the only thing you know is guys that died during snowboarding. That's all you know. Yeah. I don't even remember the guy's name. I just thought that was interesting. I don't know why it was in my feed on Instagram, because I'm very particular about who I follow on Instagram. Yeah. I bet you if you look at who I'm following on Instagram, you say, this dude is not careful about this stuff. This stuff is weird. Yeah, I follow weird accounts just to see what's going on. Yeah. I don't want to miss what's going on in the minds of the weird. That is true. Maybe that's how you got here. You want to know what's going on in the minds of the weird. Yeah. And strange. See that? It's not my fault. You can't just do it. It's got natural cracks in it. So you just got to keep going and see if you can get something. Let's see. So I think someone asked a question. I saw a question mark. Let's see. Hello from Southwest Louisiana. Graylin's here. Let's see. Where's the question? Did I just see you
tried to remove a flake from the center of the biface. I did not know you could strike anywhere but on the edge. Yeah, like you can strike anywhere that works. Okay, so you can go like in here and strike. You can go anywhere as long as you can remove a flake. It's like I just remove a flake by not being on the edge. You didn't know that? I'm glad you asked that question because Google doesn't know that either. Google doesn't know that you can just strike anywhere. Let's see. Bro, I've watched other live streams with dudes talking about Jack Crafty. He's a boss. Really? That's kind of cool. Let's see. That dude is shit talking about nothing at all. Yeah, that's what you're gonna get here. Okay? Because that's what you've been doom scrolling for anyway. Right? You're just doom scrolling for these smack talkers. So what are you complaining about? Let's see. Abrading strengthens the edge so it doesn't crush. Yes, yes. Basic information. So I have started getting into flintnapping, and I have an abrasion stone, but I don't know what its role in napping is. Just watch more videos. And, somebody just answered you in the chat too, so there's that. The mods can answer repetitive questions. Yeah, but I don't have any mods today. It looks like Michael's not here. I have one moderator. Now, I can probably designate more moderators. But you guys don't need to be designated as moderators if you just answer, You can help the new guys out by answering. They don't need to be a moderator. Look, infinity mirror. That's cool. Yeah, isn't it? I think it looks cool. Anyways, let's get back to the flintnapping. I'm trying to get something out of this piece, but I don't know. It might end up being a total fail. So yeah, the 100 people that just arrived in the last 10 seconds, if you can't get an answer from Google, then you can ask me, okay? Ask Google first. And then you can ask me. Yeah.
I can't ask the questions that I want to ask on Google because my question is, what in the wide world of the internet's going on here? If I ask Google, it'll give me some stupid answer.
Yeah, I know. But you can look in the background. You've got background skills, right? By the time you're 10 years old, you should have awesome internet background skills. So it tells you that this is a good book to reference for what I'm doing. And these look like patterns for arrowheads and stuff. Yeah. I mean, you should be able to figure that out. You don't need to be all that sophisticated. Yeah, it's not rocket science. It's just background skills. Yeah. And a lot of you guys,
yeah, I have background skills, but only for cool stuff. I only look at background stuff if it's not the weird side of YouTube.
Yeah. I just saw a puzzle the other day. I'm making a mess. I saw a puzzle the other day where you had to figure out how many M's are in this batch of letters. The letter M, but all it had in it was the letter M and the letter N. N's and M's, and you had to count all the M's, right? So there I am counting all the M's. And it doesn't take too long. How many M's are there? So, like, I counted 8, right? But you know what? In the background, in the instructions of the puzzle, there were 2 M's. So the answer was 10. Yeah. But see, I don't have background skills like you guys. Everyone else got the correct answer. I'm saying 10. Where do you see 10? I only see 8. I'm looking around. Sure enough, there are 2 M's in the description of how to go, or what the puzzle was. So you guys with background skills that are joining us, you can figure it out from here, whatever I'm doing, and from all these chips, right? You can figure it out. Yes. You don't even need to see what I'm doing. You can figure it out from that book, those templates, and these chips. Yeah. And if you can't, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. You need to work on your background skills. All right. And if it sounds like I'm making fun of you, maybe I am. Yeah, maybe I am. Let's see if we can get something out of it. All right, here we go. And I don't flint knap like everybody else. No. I say everybody else. I don't really mean everybody else. There's a lot of guys that nap like this. But when I first started, I was very different from everybody. So there are still some guys that have not checked out any new videos since 2010. They're still in 2010 when it comes to videos and napping techniques. They're 15 years behind. So those guys, they'll think that I nap weird. Anyways, I've been on the internet making videos since 2011. And there's still some guys that have never seen my channel. And they've been on the internet longer than I have. Yeah, they've been living under rocks. That's all I can say. I have no idea where they've been hiding all this time. Hey, someone gave me a super chat. It pops up as a big yellow beacon. See that? What is it? Alan, Merry Christmas, Patrick. Thank you for the smack talk and nap. You're very welcome. Let me hit the like button and the heart button. Let me see who else is here. Who else? Hey, Red Eyed Patriot's here. That's my moderator. He's my moderator. Yeah. There we go. Salamander says, put up the whiteboard in the background. Yeah, I can do that. But I don't know. It's not readable, I don't think. Let's see. Can you read it? Well, yeah, from there you can. Yeah, I guess that'll work. It might interfere with the look of the arrowhead. Let's see. Okay, I'll do that. Let's prop it up so we can see it better. A little bit. Yeah. Okay. So what else? We've got people that are saying hi to each other. Let me see. Amazing work. Thank you. I haven't done anything yet. I've just been trying to see if I can make arrowhead. Let's see. It's not good stone. It's a challenge stone. It's supposed to be difficult. Let's see how I deal with it. And sometimes dealing with it means breaking it all into little pieces that are useless. Yeah. I'm trying to get rid of the bad stuff and keep the good stuff in this particular piece. But you can already see there's going to be some issues up here. Issues that require tissues. I might lose the whole tip. Yeah, there it goes. It's so thin where it's good. You can see where the good material is. It's so thin. That's why it broke there. It had a big pocket of whatever. I don't know what that is. Sand? Million-year-old sand. Yeah. There might be like little microbes in there, dude. Microbes. No. No. You know that rocks are porous, right? Water goes in and out. Yeah. Rocks are porous in many cases. And I think Knife River Flint is one of those porous type stones. So rock goes in and out. So if there's sometimes there's water in these rocks. It's not like million-year-old water. No. It's like 1-year-old water. Because water goes in and out. Especially if it's in a stream or something. All right, let's see. I'm gonna try to speed this up by hitting it even harder than I should. So I'm just gonna trim off the nasty stuff. Okay, what about this mess right here in the middle? What am I gonna do? That's a good question. Stick around because this is a gradual process. It's not immediate. It's not like you can immediately see it and then do something about it. It's a gradual process. You don't want to start doing stuff fast and get it all ruined. You don't want to ruin the good part. See, this is a good part on this side. Looks pretty good. It's just this side that looks pretty bad. So yeah, it's getting smaller and smaller. But I don't know. Some of these stuff are good for little bitty arrowheads sometimes. But most of this stuff down here is just crud flakes. Crud. This one's clear. Might be able to get a little miniature arrowhead out of that. Yeah. So, I mean, I could save that. But, you know, it gets kind of old trying to nap these little teeny bitty pieces. I want something big like this. But yeah, you can nap those little bitty pieces. It's just a matter of being more patient with it. Yeah, believe it or not, the smaller ones are often more difficult than the big ones. Did that work? I hit that super hard. It didn't get it all. See, I'm trying to get under all this. You can kind of see where it's got some white chalky stuff, and there's a layer there. I went through the top layer, but didn't go into the bottom layer. Gotta try again. Gotta try to hit all that stuff off of there. First, I gotta prepare this side to accept the strikes. I had to strike this way, so I've got to make sure this side looks pretty good for striking. And I just remove all the delicate areas so I can hit flakes off in that way. If the edge is really sharp and delicate, I can't hit off big flakes. All I get is little bitty flakes. Let's try this one. No, didn't do it. Harder. Got to hit harder. I hit so hard that it deposits copper on the edge sometimes. See that? You can't see it. There's copper right there on the edge. That's how hard I'm hitting. It's scraping the copper off. I'm still not doing it. Did it do it that time? Whoa, look at that. I think it might have done it. No, it's still stuck on there. Still stuck on there. But wait, there's a way to get it off. It might work. Ready? What am I doing? Watch. Ha ha. Ha ha. There. Maybe we got something now. It's translucent. Look how translucent that is. And there's no fossils in it. It's Knife River flint with no fossils? Blasphemy. Sacrilege. Impossible. No, it's possible. Yep. Because you see it. You see it here, folks. See it first here, folks. All right. Now there's still some issues in the stone. See how it's weird right here? It's not because of the flaking, it's because of the stone. There's something weird in there. But I don't know if that'll be a problem. It might not be a problem. Okay, let me see. It's all lumpy right now. But you can find artifacts like this. You can save these for later and nap them later. I think that's what they did back in the day. They just got it down to this stage. They saved it for later. But let's see, what time is it? I still got an hour and 15 minutes. Well, no, an hour. I'll just go until I finish. Yeah. Yeah. I'll just go until I finish this. And yeah, it's a small piece, but just because it's small doesn't mean it's easy. Yeah. Most people, the only thing they have to nap is the small stuff. So it's so weird. You know, more people can benefit from learning how to nap the small stuff than the big stuff because it's available, but no one wants to watch it. No one wants to watch someone napping something small, even though it's more beneficial than watching someone nap something big, unless they're here only for entertainment. And then, yeah, just watch something big being napped for entertainment, because you're never going to get a hold of a big piece. Nope. Hate to tell you. No. It's hard for even me to get hold of big pieces unless I want to spend all my savings, which I have done, yes, but I'm not going to do it no more. No, not anymore. I'm settling for the smaller pieces. Oh, yes. You know, many of the artifacts in the archaeological record are small like this. The vast majority are 3 inches long and under, as far as artifacts, like these projectile points and stuff. All right. Here we go. Let's see if I can start refining this down to a nice thinness. Let's clean up a little bit, because this is the next stage is a not entirely new mindset. So let's take a little pause. Much better. So this is a totally different mindset to get this thin. I blasted off a lot of the nasty stuff, and I think I've come up with something clear and, you know, relatively consistent as far as materials go. But now, see, I just made a mistake here and there with step fracturing, so I've got to think about this in a different way. Because right now I'm thinning. It's not the same as getting the general shape. It's not the same at all. I'm trying to thin now, so it's going to be a little different. Okay. There are little ways to do things. Step fractures, you got to pick them out sometimes to make it easier for the next set of flakes. If you can, try to pick them out. Now, there are some nappers that use different techniques. You do whatever you can do to make it work. I used to prefer to nap all the defects out and not take any shortcuts or not cheat, like with a little picker like this. But I've learned to use the pickers because it's just so much faster. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I can start napping some of this into a thin biface. Yes. Okay. And I'm using a lot of inward force. I'm using a lot of inward force So the surface has to be convex. If it's flat or dished out and use a lot of inward force, it doesn't work. Hey, Sal is here. Let's see, who else did I miss? I bet you a lot of people hate when I do this. Let's see, Salamandra. I swear I look away for 2 seconds and Pat goes from a big lump of rock to a preliminary biface in like 3 minutes. Yeah, that's what you get. Ralph says, Jim, I enjoy the smaller points also. You sent me some nice ones. Cool. Chicken is gone. Yay. About to face nap some break. Some beak. Who's face napping dinner right now? Lance says, what's up, Crafty? What's up, Lance? Chef Poopy Pants. That's a cool name, right? I'm literally sitting in my garage looking for something to listen to while I try to teach myself to nap. And you are right. I literally just have a box of small stuff to learn from. Awesome. There you go. That's all you need. My channel covers artifact finds, says Ralph. Awesome. Yep. Check out some of these guys in the chat have channels. Yeah. See, it, like Blades and Points has a little arrowhead icon or avatar. That gives you an indication that that's a napping channel. Yeah, people like arrowheads. Awesome. Okay, let's get back to what we're doing. Yeah, let's see. I have a glove on because if I don't, I'll make a mess. I already started making a mess. I got cut a little bit earlier. So even though you don't need all that much protection from this, the gloves help to prevent making a big mess with blood all over the piece you're working on. So that was pretty good. But see, that flake broke in half. But it still worked. Luckily. Luckily. All right, so a lot of flint napping is luck, yes. I can't take all the credit. When I make an arrowhead, I can't take all the credit. A lot of it's luck. Let's see. I have to hit this very, very hard too, so if it doesn't break, that means it's good luck. Extremely hard hit. And it worked. Nice. I was hoping for some luck there. You got to have at least 1 or 2 lucky hits. At least. Yep. I'm running a little bit low on the luck, though. The more luck I have in the beginning, the less luck I have at the end. Yeah. So got to be careful. Hey, Sal, $4.99 super chat. Thanks for the shout out. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, whenever I see you in the chat, I'm going to shout out Sal and your channel. Yep. Definitely. And Sal, Blades and Points, he does live streams too. Yep. So you don't need to depend only on 1 or 2 nappers. Everyone's trying to do this now, and I don't like this vertical format. I've always hated the vertical format, but it exposes the channel to a lot of new guys, so I'm doing it now. Yeah. But I do regular videos too where it's horizontal. I don't get that many views on those, like I never really did get many views on those anyway. But there's less now than there used to be because YouTube doesn't promote that type of video. It doesn't promote the long format, horizontal type video. For some reason. Anyways. I gotta I gotta focus on this because if I don't, it's not gonna work right. I'm trying to come at this lump from different angles, and it's not working. So I've got to make it more narrow. Yep. I try to keep as wide as possible because it gives me more options. The wider it is, the more options I have. But if the width starts to give me diminishing returns, I got to make it more narrow. Yeah. And I'll be hitting in the middle, so I've got to thin down the ends. I have not thinned down this bottom part or the base sufficiently. It's got to stay straight too. A lot of times a napper can accidentally install a curve. That's terrible. You do not want to install a curve because the arrowheads, they need to be straight to work right. They can work if they're curved. Don't get me wrong. I've seen artifacts that are curved and they're definitely projectile points because they have an impact fracture. But it's not ideal. And people don't want to buy those that are curved either. If you want to sell these. And I can understand because, you know, if you're going to pay money, you got to buy something good. Okay, so I'm making it more narrow so I can attack these that lumpy area. Trying to attack it from far away is not going to work, obviously. I got a couple lucky hits on there, but I can't depend on those. Man, this is tough stuff. Oh, that didn't work. A direct attack. Sometimes a direct attack works, but it's not working at all. No. What am I going to do? It's all messed up. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I can unmess it. Come on. See if I can pick some of these out. They're not even picking out. That's how tough this rock is. They're not even getting picked out. Nope. Come on. And the more I try to pick it, the more metal marks get put in, which is not a good thing. The metal marks are the scratches from the steel. You don't want a lot of those in there. I tried a direct attack right through the worst part right here, and it didn't work. So the way to get around that is I have to make it even more narrow and hit it even harder. And it's getting smaller, so the chance of breaking it is very high, breaking the whole thing in half. So as it gets thinner and thinner, the chances of breaking it in half gets higher and higher. That's why a lot of guys just constantly break the pieces. They want thin points, but they don't realize that it gets harder and harder to make them thinner as they get smaller and thinner. The hardest thing in flint knapping is to thin down a thin point. For anybody, the hardest thing in flint knapping, remember this, is to thin down something that's already thin. Why would you want to thin down something already thin? Because you saw it in nature or you saw it as an artifact? That's the only reason. Yeah. Or you saw somebody do it on YouTube and you think you can do it too? I don't know. But usually it's because an artifact was done that way. Okay. This is not cooperating whatsoever. Okay, so I have to just keep attacking it until either it breaks or I conquer it. Yeah. Come on. So I'm going to try to improve the edge by pressure flaking. That sometimes helps because you get more precise with the flint knapping. It's more accurate, and it produces a better edge to use pressure flaking. So I'm going to come at it from different sides, well, both sides, from different angles. Okay, so I'm trying to move the edge toward the obstacle on both sides. This one is all messed up because I hit it several times, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. Sometimes you can put a pressure flaker in there, but this is just so tough that there's no way I can get in there and get that away. Get that to go away. There's no way. So it's going to have to be done from some other angle. It does not look good. I have to hit it very, very hard. And it gets harder and harder to fix it as it gets smaller and smaller. But luckily, I can hit it harder and harder. Yeah. It just might break in half. Okay. What if I had made it more narrow to begin with? Yeah, it would have probably worked better. But I don't know how tough it's going to be. I can say that in hindsight, but I don't know how tough it was going to be. It might have been not tough at all, and I just wasted a bunch of width by making it more narrow. You can't nap in hindsight. You can learn from mistakes in hindsight, but napping it, you don't know on that particular piece. Let's see if that worked. I hit that really, really hard, and I think we're starting to make some progress, maybe. Let's hope. Yeah. Is it because I pressure flaked that edge? Maybe. But I think I just hit it really, really hard. Because there were some good opportunities before, even if it wasn't pressure flaked. I'm just really hitting it hard enough for its relatives back at the quarry to feel that hit. Yeah. This rock's relatives are feeling it back at the quarry. Oh, please. Yeah. Smash through it. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Did you see it? No? You didn't see how I did it? That's okay. You're supposed to learn on your own anyway. Go home and learn on your own. I think the side's just tough. Yeah. I still can't drive any flicks off of this edge. Man, I'm trying to get rid of these lumps, but it's not doing it. It should do it because it did it on the other sides and stuff. But I think that one spot is really tough. And yeah, that can vary like that. So, why is pressure flaking doing it? Because the flakes are smaller. I don't need to exert as much force. I was trying for bigger flakes with percussion because I want to get this thinner. I can just use pressure flaking and it won't thin it down. I'm trying to get it thinner, so I need hard hits to generate big flakes. And sometimes the edge just doesn't want to cooperate, because either the stone is too hard or too soft, one of the two. It might have a defect in it or whatever. So at this stage, I've got most of it thinned down. It's very small compared to what I started with. Yeah. But even it being that small, I still have nasty stuff in there. That little patch. And I got this area here that's kind of weird. We'll see. That's not weird, it's just tough. Okay. So to continue to thin it, I need to make sure that the surfaces are smooth, so I've got to smooth out this surface. I'm not going to be able to drive thinning flakes when I finish if I don't smooth out that surface. Yeah, usually thin all the way till the very end. You're still thinning the piece. Even at the very end. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna drive some flakes on the other side. The hard part is trying to decide, because see, I need to remove mass from this side. I'm already installing a curve on this side. So if I take more off of this side, it'll get more and more curved. So I got to start taking some off of this side. The problem is when it's thinner, it'll break easier when I try to drive flakes to clean this up later on. So the question is, do I do it now and put kind of a curve in there now and then maybe hope to straighten it out, or just remove this mass here, make it nice and tapered, and then tackle that? You know, there's no good answer, I don't think. You can do it either way. I usually try to remove the curve first before thinning, before further thinning. Yeah. And if it remains thick, it's okay. If I just can't get it thinned down, I'll just keep it thick. Let's see. I'm watching to see how much I remove. I'm removing stuff from both sides. I'm removing flakes from both sides. And what I'm going to do, my third option is just to start thinning at the tip and then work my way down. And just walk these flakes down, starting up here, and then just keep driving flakes until I get all the way to the bottom. Same on the other side. Drive flakes starting from the tip, thin it from the tip to the base. Now the base doesn't need to be that thin, so I'll be driving mostly long flakes up here and working my way from the tip down instead of attacking just at random these nasty spots. I'll walk these flakes down. Yeah. Okay. See if that works. Sometimes it doesn't work because it just doesn't want to flake. But see, that's what I'm going for. These, so it is working, at least with that flake. Yeah, see, just walking these flakes down. I'll do that on both sides. Yeah, like that. If I can get one like that on this other side, I'll be doing good. And once in a while, I'll take a random flake. Yes, come on. Yeah. And I'm using percussion because I can remove larger flakes with percussion. I gotta turn the heater on. It's 41 degrees, which is not too bad. But I don't want it to be affecting my napping. I don't want the coldness to be affecting my napping, because if I start shivering or get cold, it affects the napping. Oh yes. Just a little bit of discomfort can affect the napping. So I'm going to walk these flakes down, starting at the tip again. Now doing this side, the nasty side. A little bit of pressure flaking just to make it more nice. Come on. Downward pressure only. I'm just repairing the edge. Well, not repairing, but making it look better, more even. And moving the edges this way, because I'll be walking flakes down this side. And it's difficult to get these little bitty flakes with percussion. Yeah, and that's what all I need right now is little bitty ones. So that just makes the edge a little bit neater for these flakes to come off. You'll see. Hopefully I'll just need one pass, but I'm going to do a pass on both sides. Hopefully I just need to do that, you know, a flake here and then a flake there, then a flake here, then a flake there. Yeah, I can do that with pressure too, but it takes too much strength. I'd rather do it with percussion. Yeah, I can drive long flakes with pressure, or people can. Maybe I can't. But it is possible to drive those flakes like I'm doing with percussion. You can drive them with pressure, but I'm not able to do that. Not without a whole lot of pain and suffering. Oh, that's not too good. Those flakes that flake's supposed to travel more. Yeah. Okay. I'm hitting it very hard, and it's not doing it. And I probably don't need to abrade it anymore or grind it, but I do it just in case. All right. Ah, yes. Nice. I continue to walk it down if it works. It's just a tough piece of stone. Yes, it's working. Yes. Okay. I am much happier about this now. It's still weird right here in that area, but it's much better than it was before. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's try to finish this thinning. Try to finish the thinning stage. All right, gotta repair the edge a little bit. Make it nice and even. When it's nice and even and straight, I can see better opportunities for more flakes. It's hard to explain exactly what is going on here, but I'm just making it more even so I can see my options better. Now you could say, why don't you prepare these areas specifically so you can remove a flake in a specific area instead of just napping the whole thing blindly? It's not blindly. I like to do it this way. It saves time to just do this whole edge. Just nap it down the whole edge and then look for opportunities later. It's mostly a time-saving technique. Yeah, I can isolate these different areas for very specific flakes in very specific areas, but it takes time. It takes so much more time. I'm already taking a lot of time to do this. So when I do this, it shows me where the lumps are. If I'm not so distracted by the wonkiness of the edge, I can see where I need to remove lumps on the surface. So yeah, straighten the edge out, and I look. There's a kind of lumpy area right there, right? And there's another lumpy area here. But see how I straighten the edge out? So it's right in the middle of the thickness. So I can take flakes anywhere, down this side or up that side, anywhere. When it's directly in the middle, when it's at this stage, I can take flakes from either side. That's what I want. It shows me the opportunities and where it's also thin and dangerous. Like it's thin and dangerous right here. So I don't want to hit in the middle anymore. I do want to get rid of some of this down here. Some of this mass. But yeah, when you see the straight line, you can see where it's not symmetrical. Okay? All right. Yes, maybe.
I don't see anything. I got a bad case of the fliplexia. I don't see. Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah. Fliplexia is when it looks one way. It looks a certain way in one direction, and you flip it over and it changes. It doesn't look so good from the other direction. So you don't flip it. If you have a bad case of fliplexia, you just tend to not flip it because you hate it. As long as it looks good in one direction. Yeah. Right? Right. No? Other people don't have this problem? Yeah, story of my life. Let me see. I'm going to try to thin this bottom part down. We're going to put some notches in this. When am I going to get to the obsidian? Maybe never. This is a big challenge to get this made. It's very challenging. The rock is very tough. It doesn't have consistency, and it has defects. Consistency means it doesn't have consistency. That means that some parts are difficult as far as toughness, and some parts are not so tough as far as the toughness of the rock. And then there's some areas that are weird, like right there. Why is it doing that there? It could be because of the procedure, the way that it was progressing with the different flakes and step fracturing and stuff, but I have a feeling it's just a defect in the stone right there. It looks to me like a slight defect. A natural crack in the stone that causes the step fracturing, and it causes this weird remnant this flake remnant that I can't pick out of there. Anyways, I might be able to get that later. I might be able to get that to pop out later with another flake. But let's get this removed. Try to get that patch removed. And the base thinned down. This thinned down so we can notch it. Yeah. Yeah, like that. See, this area down here, it wasn't too bad. The upper area was giving me a lot of trouble. So it might be a difference in the toughness of the stone. Yeah. Or it could have been a bunch of obstacles, weird, bumpy, and step fractured areas. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I've been doing this a long time and I still don't know exactly what's going on. Yeah, I've been flint napping for a long time and I still don't know what the rucks have in mind. Why they do things. Or why the rucks react a certain way. Okay, let's see if I can get some more flakes. Yeah, like that. That was this flake here, wherever it came from. That's the kind of flakes I want. So now I'm just napping at random. Let's see if I can get rid of some lumps that I see. The glove is starting to get in the way. Let's see. So the base is pretty much thinned down. I just need to do the tip a little bit more. I don't see any good opportunities. They're all like so, yeah, kind of okay opportunities. Not really good opportunities. When that happens, I've got to make better opportunities by pressure flaking the edge again. Oh, that's not bad. That one worked okay. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, same, whether it's small or big, you're after the same kind of flakes. Whether it's small or big, as far as the point size goes. It's all the same. As far as where you want the flakes to be and how big in relation to the point style or point size. There we go. There was still a defect in the middle. See, I couldn't see very well from here, but you see that little defect? That causes it to break. From here, it didn't look like it didn't look like there was anything. But now we can see it. And there might be a similar issue on this other side. So yeah, that goes in the brokes and bifaces. That's disappointing. Anyways. Yeah, it's not supposed to break there. If it was solid, it would not have broken. Okay. Let's see. Where's that obsidian? All right, so how much time I got left? I got about half an hour left. Let's do that. How did they do it back in the day when they had problems like that? They just pick up another piece. Do we know how many they broke back in the day? What the percentage of breaks to successes were? Sometimes we can tell by the amount of debitage, but no, we can't really tell. I imagine it was a lot of failure back in the day because of the poor quality of the tools. Hammerstones and antler are not great quality tools. All right, what am I looking for? My glove. Okay. This is a special type of obsidian, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's going to be a challenge as well because we have defects in this side. So same thing, you just make all the sides and all the edges dull. Then we can start napping. It's already pretty thin, so I don't need to use the bopper. I prefer not to use boppers. I mean, I can use a little bitty one, but a large bopper has a chance of snapping this very easily. I just want to see what we have. So those defects don't look like they're going in very far. You don't know, though. Never know. Obsidian is much easier to nap than raw stone, like the Knife River Flint. Much easier to nap than the Knife River Flint. So it's a different mindset. Same kind of strategy, but the way you use the tools and the way you hold the piece is different. Yeah, if I strike really, really hard on this piece, for example, chances are I'll break it. No, I got to take the curve. Well, I got to not take the curve out, but make sure it's going to be convex from tip to base. You don't want it straight like this. So I trim a little bit off the bottom here so I can start removing some thinning flakes from here. This is going to be a problem in there. Those go pretty deep, so I might just trim that off right now in the beginning. There's also some deep holes here, so yeah, we've got some issues, and those can cause breakage right across, just like the one that you just saw on the Knife River Flint. So I can do this trimming with percussion, with direct percussion or indirect percussion. And the reason I'm trimming is because there's probably not a good way to keep it wide and deal with those. Those are going to be a problem. I've got to make it more narrow because they go pretty deep. Yeah. I trim this side so I can remove material this way. But it's going to end up being pretty narrow. That's what I'm thinking. So let me try to focus now on this. It's got some minerals that are different color than this color. Interesting. Okay, let's try to do this. This is a usable piece for an arrowhead later. Yeah. But all these other pieces are crud flakes. Yeah, too curved. Okay. All right, let's see. See what we got. We got to take care of these problems. Skim off material so we can see how deep those holes go. Now I could leave some of those in there on the final piece, but it weakens it. It makes the final piece very weak. See, these holes up near the top, they get me worried. So I'm going to try to skim those off right now. And just going to work my way down. Okay, let's see. Okay, I got under that one. I got under that hole. Good. Awesome. And it's not curved. Even better. Still got holes in it though. And we got holes in other places, but it looks like I might be able to get something. Yeah. I might be able to blast through these and get under them easier than I thought. Maybe. It's very rare that it's easier than you think, but it might be. I'll remain optimistic. So I'm going to thin down this base. I'm going to lose length on it because it's too flat. I got to have some convexity here, and this way too. I'll take opportunities to remove flakes when I can. Like that. Keeping it thick in the middle, right where I think it could snap. I'll keep it thick. And then I'll continue to work on the defects. All right, so I think we might be able to get under that. Yes. Okay. Just keep smashing flakes into that area. From all sides. Try not to hit it too much on the base because it can snap it in half. With all these defects, I don't know how weak it is. It can still snap in the middle even though I left it thick. So any flakes from the bottom have to be with minimal amount of force. And I'm just shaping it so it can get convex a little bit. Just a little bit is all I need. It just can't be completely flat. It doesn't work well when it's totally flat. It works better when it's convex. During the thinning stage. So I'm just going to keep driving flakes into the middle where the defects are. Yeah. And if I have to remove length, I'll remove length. To get a flake to travel in that area. It does not look too bad. Yeah. And so you can see I'm leaving this big old chunk right here in the middle because I'm afraid it's going to break. In case you're wondering why I have not tackled that yet. It's dangerous to get rid of that too soon. So I just took a series of flakes here. If it was really thin in the middle, I couldn't hit that hard without worrying a lot. If it's real thin in the middle and you start to hit from the tip, if it has a defect, it'll break just like on the other piece. I broke this because I was hitting the tip and trying to finish the tip, but it had a defect in it. So this has defects in it, so I'm keeping it thick where I think it could break, and then hitting it hard on the tip because I have to hit it hard up here to get big flakes. Get it? No, it's okay. You'll get it eventually. Let's see, where are we? It doesn't look too bad. It's still kind of nasty right there. I don't know what's going to happen there, but I'm going to start working my way down. Let's see if I can clear that out. Yeah, I'll just start working my way down. It seems to be a strategy I'm using a lot lately. Just walking it down where I see defects or problem areas. And just do a series of flakes. And it doesn't have to be in order. See, I took a bunch off, and then I took that one, and then that one. So it doesn't have to be in order. It looks okay. It looks like there's not much at all left on this side. As far as the original surface, there's still some areas that are the bottom of those holes and stuff, but it's not too bad. I'll thin it down later. I got to work on this right now. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to be able to run more flakes yet into this area from this side. So I pretty much exhausted my opportunities already. So I'm going to redo this edge by removing the delicate areas. And I will start to thin this down now a little bit, because I don't see very many defects. But it looks like I'm going to have to come in from bottom sides. Like the corners, I mean. A corner strike would be good here, I think. Rather than directly from the side. I think a corner strike would be better because it would add more to the convexity of the whole piece. If I strike in from this side, it kind of installs a curve. You know, it'll be curved that way. If I strike directly from the side, so I think from the corner would be better. And I'm talking a big flake. Yeah, nice big flake. Let's see. And that big flake on Obsidian required a hit that was less powerful than the thinning flakes I was doing on this. That big flake was less powerful than the flakes I was doing on this to thin this one down. Believe it or not. It's still crunchy in that area, so I still got a ways to go. Yeah. I'm getting ready for another flake. I'm going to shoot another flake from the base. Shooting them from the base prevents the curve. I know I lose length, but oh well. Yeah, that went way up through there. Yes, that was good. So I'm hitting from the corners to get into there, and that creates convexity instead of scooping it out. But that one also scooped it too, so. But luckily it didn't dive. It popped back out. It did kind of scoop it a little bit. But I got under all that. So yeah, I think we're out of the woods there. We just got to make it look pretty. Yeah. It did dive in a little bit, which is unfortunate, but I can eventually work that out by removing more of the length, driving in some flakes, and make it more convex. Right? Right. Okay. So it's just a matter of making cosmetic adjustments to the face of it. I have to be very careful with this though. It's obsidian and it's very delicate. That's why I'm kind of being cautious and not goofing around. This stuff is very delicate. It could snap at any time. Slowly but surely. It looks a little bit crunchy on this side. Still encountering a little bit of mess. Okay, so next round of flakes. Whenever I stop seeing opportunities, I grind the edge again. All right, this next stage is going to be difficult. Okay, let's see. All right, so the next stage is going to require more careful planning. Going to require more careful preparation and planning for these flakes. But as you can see, we've got convexity in all directions. Got convexity this way, this way, this way, and that way. Although this is pretty flat, it does still have some convexity because it is thicker in the middle than it is on the ends. Okay? Convexity in all four directions. And now comes the final thinning. The hardest part is the final thinning, I think. Even harder than the notches. It's hard to avoid the bad luck. You can get good at thinning, but you can never get good at judging what you cannot control. And the things you cannot control are the quality of the material and the unforeseen defects and little mistakes that your eye doesn't catch. You can make mistakes in knapping that your eye doesn't catch, and that can make all the difference. Like I could have a crack somewhere that I don't notice that could open up and run across the piece. Abrading helps to eliminate these little cracks along the edges, if there are any. When you remove width with this abrading, it can also remove some of those cracks that might be there. I call them incipient cracks. And then go for the next round of flakes. All right, all right. This is a diamond file. You can get these at Harbor Freight. They come in a set of 8, and I think it's only like $8 or $9. I don't know. I don't remember. All right, let's see. Let's go for opportunistic flaking. Yeah, why not? 2 sizes of copper rods, since someone's probably going to ask or already asked. 3/8 and 5/16. 3/8, 5/16. I'm currently using the 5/16. I might be switching back and forth here, depending on the size of the flakes I need. See, these long ones and narrow ones, I don't need a big old flaker. I can have a narrow tip flaker. It just makes it less stressful on the workpiece if I use a narrow tip. It kind of limits your flake size, though. The flakes are going to be smaller, but if you don't need bigger flakes, then it's okay. I have this bump here that I need to get rid of. Yeah. I might just get rid of it from this side going up this way, where I have more meat, instead of trying to go in a thin area. Pick an area that has a lot more meat and then drive a flake up in there. Yeah, it's risky, but it's risky as far as success goes, but it's not risky as far as breaking the whole thing. I might be able to get a successful flake. It's risky though, but breaking it in half is not as risky. It's more risky to break it in half if you hit a delicate area. You know what I mean? Although the success in getting the flake to go might be better close by when you're close by, but I don't see a good opportunity from anywhere along this edge to hit that. I got to get rid of it. And the sooner the better. Because that stuff, these kind of lumps that are really pronounced are difficult to remove when it gets thin. It's not thin yet. And the file makes the edge a lot smoother. It gives you better contact, which generates a little bit bigger flake. Yeah. All right, let's see if I can do this. I think I did it. So I came in from the side instead of hitting there. If that didn't work, I was going to do plan B. This is closer, but it didn't get all of it. But it's a lot less bumpy than before, which makes it easier to remove. I might be able to shoot flakes from this side now and get those little bumps. Yeah. See those two little bumps. The flake went right down the middle. I can grind those down a little bit. Make them less pronounced. And that helps remove them. Yeah. The less pronounced these defects are, the better. And just little subtle tweaks makes all the difference. In many cases, it makes all the difference. So I'm going to hit some flakes into there. See what we can get. Kind of aggressive. Yeah, aggressive. I took a lot off the side. I did not want it to step fracture. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Yeah. Aggressive flake. I don't want it to step fracture. There it goes. All right. Now just opportunistic flaking to remove general thickness. I got to remove this mass there, so here we go. I don't have to be too aggressive with it. Just little by little. Yeah. This edge is still kind of crunchy. I think there's just a slight difference in the material, but it's all right. Obsidian is usually very consistent. So it might have just been me. It might just be me on this edge, just making a bunch of mistakes by coincidence altogether. You know, like the edge not being dull enough. It might look dull enough, but it wasn't. Maybe that was it. Not dull enough. Okay. So just a matter of taking off flakes where I think it needs it. Took a little bit too much off the side, but that's all right. Oh well. Let's see. There's still a bunch of crunchiness. It looks kind of crunchy right there. This side's pretty much done as far as the flaking. The bold flaking. It's just this side that needs to be flaked more smoothly. Yeah. And I might just pressure flake. Yeah. I'm going to pressure flake this edge nice and straight. See what I got. What I have to work with. Because the final pass is always the most difficult. I'll probably have to do the final pass on both sides on this side. On this face. The final passes are pretty much done on this face. Right here. But this face has lumps and stuff and is thicker. I need 2 gloves for this. I don't like wearing the gloves because sometimes it prevents me from that subtle feeling that sometimes makes all the difference. You know, I want to be able to run long flakes, and if I can't judge how easily it's flaking, then it's going to be hard to run long flakes. Why long flakes? Because it's a big piece. It's not one of those small little arrowheads. The flakes have to be long by comparison to a small arrowhead, so it requires more force. Well, luckily it's Obsidian, so it is cooperative, you know, without much force. Yeah. Unless it's crunchy like that. And then there's not much I can do other than keep trimming it. Keep trimming it and losing width, but oh well. Okay. It seems to be very crackly on this whole side. And sometimes there are layers in the Obsidian, but I don't think this has layers in it. I don't think that's the issue. I think it's just material that was close to the cortex. I'm just trying to straighten the edge. If I can see an opportunity to take a flake, I'll do it. Sometimes it's worthwhile to hit a low spot. But sometimes if the spot is too low, it risks overshooting the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, let's see. So it's already past 10 o'clock Eastern. I'll just finish the thinning and that's it. And I'll call it a night. Yeah. See, the edge is much straighter now. And it's actually a better opportunity for me to take those thinning flakes. When it starts getting thin and the edge is too low, you risk overshooting or diving. Because if the edge is low, it reduces the convexity. If the edge is right in the middle, there's more convexity. Okay. Actually, I need to take some off the other side and then regrind it. All right, let's see what we got. Well, that was not good at all. That was an excellent area to hit. But I think we're running into that weird cortex area. It did not break like it should have. I mean, it did not initiate that flake the way it should have. We lost a lot of width. Yeah. Yeah, it still feels very crunchy. I could feel it already removing flakes just as I pushed, give it a little bit of pressure. It was already starting to crunch. Yeah, it's not cooperating whatsoever. Yeah, I got a little flake, but it crushed on the edge, and I have it ground down plenty. Yeah, it's just a weird area right there. I'm having to hit downward instead of inward. Mostly downward. But I got some flakes to travel through there. Now I got to thin down the other side. This side should be easier. There's still an area of thickness right here. So I'll try to tackle that, and that will be it. The rest doesn't need to be any thinner. Yeah. No need to push it any further. It's just that this area is a little bit too thick. Right in here. Of course on the tip a little bit, but I can get that with pressure, I think. But everything else looks symmetrical. It's just that area right there that needs to be thinned down. I can do that from both sides, it looks like. But this side's better. And I hit by accident on the way back. Okay. I try to abrade in one direction, but sometimes I hit, when I bring the rock back or the abrader backwards, I hit backwards, and I just took off a flake I shouldn't have right there. It just makes it harder to thin down the tip when I make little mistakes like that. All right. There. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah. That's it. That's it for the thinning. Now it's just the pressure flaking and maybe another thinning flake here and there. But that's the secondary thinning is already done. And let's get the ratio on this. It's probably about 6-to-1, I think, or 5-to-1. I see, hold on, I see another area I could do. Before I take the ratio, let me get rid of this lump right here. Yeah. The ratio is the width to thickness ratio. I think I can improve it just by getting rid of that lump. I measure across the widest part, and right where it's the widest, also the thickness, to get the ratio, the width to thickness ratio. But hold on, let me get rid of that lump. That'll improve the ratio, yeah. But yeah, I lost a little bit of width, so now I better thin it down more. See what I mean? I can get rid of some of that. Let's work it all the way down a little bit. I just took a flake off in the middle. All right, let's do the main attack now. Let's see. Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that flake was right there. Is that good? I think that's good. I could get greedy. One from the other side? Yeah. This is not greedy. This is just an easy one. Relatively speaking. Yeah. All right, so that's it. It's good enough. It's not perfect, right? It's still got some lumps. There's still a lump right here. and it could be a little bit thinner in there. But let's do the ratio. I'm going to do it in millimeters. 48 millimeters. Yeah, by what is it? 8, 7. I can't see. I think it's 7. It's about 7 to 1, which is good. 6 to 1 or better is good. Awesome. It does not need to be any thinner than that for whatever point style I want to make, as long as I don't take off too much of the width. I just need to sharpen it. The edge is pretty straight already. Alrighty, so that's it. And I don't know what kind of obsidian this is. You guys probably know better than I do. There is a bit of a crunchy spot right here that's going to be requiring more width removal. But I think that's the only problem spot anywhere on the edge. Yeah, so I'll have to remove some of this width to get rid of that. Let's see. But not too much. I don't have to remove too much of that. Let me see if I can just pick that out. I'm going to go to the side first a little bit. Right there's where I need to push. So I think I got under that. There was a crack right here. I think I pushed on it. I think that's all I need. It's stepped a little bit. But I don't think that crack goes all the way through. This is a natural streak in the material. So I just pushed on the edge a little bit. I didn't lose much width, but you can see that I did lose some width there. Yeah, I'll just make it more symmetrical. All right. That's the only problem spot I see along the edge. Everything else is pretty trivial. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Let me look at the chat, see if there's any questions that I missed. Hold on, I'm putting stuff away. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me look at the chat. Bill Taylor, hello Patrick and everybody. Yeah, you're at the end of the live stream, Bill. It's awesome obsidian, yes, Roy Browski. 6 1/2, a dozen in the other, yeah, 7, 8, 9. People are still doing that 6, 7 stuff. Let's see. I am so happy to have been here, to have watched through the frustration of stonework perseverance. Thank you so much for sharing. You're welcome. So scared to nap my small piece of triple flow mahogany, says Roy. Yeah, that's I've got some mahogany that I'm not napping. It has got some gold sheen in it, and I'm too chicken to nap it right now. So I know what you mean. Maniac man, this is the best live stream I will ever see. Everyone else is streaming some BS while you're out here being a legend. I have tons of respect for you, bro. Keep up the great work. Dang, you need to be my PR guy, Maniac man. Awesome, thank you. Mr. Jim, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah, I have live streams every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Ken Winton is here. Alan says Arizona novice in need of chert. Arizona has no chert. You need to go to what's the closest place to find chert for you in Arizona? New Mexico sometimes has stuff you can nap around Albuquerque. I don't know how far that's from you. Arizona is not a good place for chert unless you go far south Arizona. And then maybe northeast Arizona. But you're only going to find small pieces. You need to buy your stuff on Facebook. Let's see. Any questions? No questions? Obsidian is a lot like glass. But glass, it gets kind of boring, right? So you just want to jump into Obsidian right away. But yeah, if you have the patience to work glass a lot first, it will help you with the Obsidian. How can you control this? Says Devin, or asks Devin. Very good question. You cannot control it very well. The easiest part of the flake to control is the middle of the flake. The beginning is not so easy, and the ending of the flake is the worst part to try to control. Yeah, you can pretty much guess what the middle of the flake's going to do if it does run. The ending is the hardest to predict. The beginning of the flake is mid-range difficult to predict. You're not sure if it's actually going to remove the flake when you hit the edge. But that's more predictable than the ending of the flake. There are different parts of the flake, beginning, middle, and end. The middle is the easiest to predict. So that's where your obstacles should be. But none of it's guaranteed. And if you reverse Yoda's advice, you know how Yoda trained Luke Skywalker? He said, do or do not, there is no try. Well, in Flintnapping, it's try or try not. There is no do. You cannot guarantee your results, so there is no do. So to answer that question, you can't control it. You can just place your bets. But there's parts of the flakes that are more controllable or more predictable than others. Let's see. Yeah, if you want to know how to do indirect percussion on slabs of obsidian, just look for some of my videos. I think I have obsidian slab videos. Roy Browski, you should be able to look up on YouTube Jack Crafty slab napping or obsidian slab, something like that. And I have at least 2 or 3 videos on napping obsidian slabs with indirect percussion. What's the secret? There is no secret. It's a pain in the butt. It is a royal hassle to nap slabs of obsidian with indirect percussion because they break. They're too thin in the middle. All slabs are way too thin in the middle for percussion. Logical Apostate says, I'm guessing several thousand years ago they had a lot of time to hone their skills. Probably started about 8 and somewhere better than others. Well, no. Yeah, I agree with most of that, but they did not have a whole lot of time. They just got better because they lived longer. Basically, they needed to make arrowheads and stuff. They made cruddy ones at first in their life, and as they lived longer, they had more practice and got better at it. The longer they lived, the better the points looked. Let's see. And, after you reach a certain age, then you start getting diminishing returns on how your points look. You get old, you get weak, your eyesight starts to fail, and you're basically injured in different places. You might not be able to overcome joint pain or arthritis or whatever. Let's see. Antler wears down too fast, needs to be dressed often. Yeah. Someone asked, why not use antler? Copper is much easier. Copper is like driving a car compared to antler, which is like riding a bicycle. When it comes to knapping. I think that's it. Yeah, I'm filing the stone with a diamond file. In case you're wondering what the file is made out of, it's got diamonds in it. It's called a diamond file. It's for stone and other very hard materials. You can file wood and metal with it too, but it's usually for stone and ceramic, that kind of file. Okay, so that's it. Oh, they're asking about this. This is a piece of a grinding wheel for a bench grinder. Grinding wheel for bench grinder. It's just worn down a lot, so it looks kind of weird. This one still has the center hole in it. But you can buy these. This was a 6-inch diameter grinding wheel from Harbor Freight. But you can get them at Walmart and stuff too. I think they go for like $14 now. And you just break it into 4 different pieces. Take a hammer and break up the grinding wheel. It's not that hard to break it up. Okay, so just basic questions. Somebody says, I've several types of obsidian for lapidary purposes. Is there a certain kind of obsidian you should avoid? Yeah, obsidian with pockets of ash or whatever they call it. It's not ash, it's something else. But if it has pockets of either bubbles or what looks to be ash, don't use that type. It'll mess you up. Raymond says, I have access to tons of flint. Would you buy it? Well, it depends on the quality. Raymond, you need to figure out how good it is before I say yes or no. If you can't tell us how good it is, then no one's going to buy it sight unseen. Just because you say you have flint, quote unquote. Not picking on you, but you've got to be a little more specific. Yeah, some of you rock hounds thinking that maybe you can nap jade. I would just go with opal. You can nap opal and just forget about jade. Of course, they probably left already. They're not going to get the wisdom. Okay. Let's see. The hardness of the stone doesn't matter too much when knapping because very subtle differences are what make all the difference in knapping. So it can be just a little bit off and it won't nap right. And it will look like it's supposed to be nappable, but it won't be. It's because the subtle differences make all the difference in flint knapping. Yeah, you can always practice with antler later. I started with antler at first and having a bunch of misery, and I switched to copper and finally started enjoying at least some of the process. But I go back and forth. I use antlers sometimes to nap stuff. It's so much easier when you have a choice, when you don't have to stick with antler. Easier on the morale. Yeah, you'll be happier. Let's see. Jim Cooper says I percussion thin slabs of obsidian all the time. Not indirect, maybe, but percussion nonetheless. Yeah, you can nap slabs with boppers, obsidian or glass slabs with boppers, if you have the skills. Tommy Anderson, yeah, I moved to Vermont, Tommy. Okay, I think that's it. I'm going to call it a night. I've been on the live stream for 2 hours and 41 minutes. Dang it. You guys are going to make me watch a movie so I can calm down and finally go to sleep. Yeah. Dang. Got to watch a movie now. All right, so this is the results of this live stream. I'll take a little photo, right, or screenshot, whatever. I like this obsidian. It's a lot like mahogany obsidian as far as the way it naps. It's a buttery type obsidian, but it was scaring me toward the end, and it also got crunchy on this one side. I don't know why. I think a mahogany obsidian is also that way, where if it starts to get nasty, it stays nasty. It's hard to blow away all the crackle, but most of it's gone. And a couple of rounds of pressure flaking should take care of it on that edge. Yeah, but I like it. Whoever sent, I forgot who sent it to me. Thank you. I think no, I don't have it. I don't have the label. I was going to try to do a lecture and everything with my little sketchbook, because people ask about the angles and stuff. I have a special sketchbook just for that. I'll just keep it here for the next live stream or the next video. All right, that's it for tonight. We'll see you guys on Monday. Monday's the next live stream from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. I might sneak another live stream in there between now and then. But my regular live streams are 3 times a week. And if I show up on a live stream at some other time, that means I'm sneaking it in. And it's not like you missed it. Okay? It's not like you missed the schedule, because sometimes I do unscheduled live streams that I don't announce. Yeah. All right. Good night, guys. Good to see everybody. Merry Christmas. Yes, Merry Christmas. If I don't see you again, there'll be 2 more live streams before Christmas, I believe. Unless Wednesday's Christmas. I might not do a live stream on Christmas Day if it's going to be Wednesday. But I'll tell you on Monday. Okay? All right, that's it. Good night. Bye-bye.